Alright, so welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and today we're going to go and celebrate the release, the pushed back release of the anniversary box by going over my deck, my list, and my thoughts about the Super Saiyan 4 Bardock leader, Prismatic Striker. What a name. And of course, let me know what you think about the leader and the deck, etc. Are you excited about black multicolor? Do you see any of this, like all the stuff out of anniversary box being played anywhere else? Will it actually change the format? Is it going to be like a tier 1, tier 5, tier 64 leader? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you want to support, follow us on Facebook in the description below. In the Circus series, it's free and on Sundays now. And of course, you're a playmat if you want to make your own sleeve / playmat. Okay, let's talk about the leader real quick. It's probably one of the coolest leaders that we've seen in a long time, and I titled this video the way that I titled it because there's so much text, there's so many interactions, and it actually, I've said this before, it actually makes you a kind of a better player as you play the deck and as you build it. It's not really the same as any other deck. It does build itself in essence because you have to play the black multicolors in order to get the leader effects. So most of the deck is pretty much the same. You'll probably see the same core for everything. You'll have to get pretty much every single color, so that way you actually get the auto on the back side. And of course, if you didn't know, the permanent on the front side reduces the energy cost or the energy exhaust by nullifying it. I guess you don't have to do, you can place an active basically. And all of the 1-cost 5Ks are now free, which is very important because you actually want to do that. And it's very helpful for the combo, like activate or the auto basically, which we'll go over. And then the permanent is that in each color, for each color in your battle area and as well as energy area for all turns, it gets 2K power. So it's a 5K leader, 15K on the backside. Why they did this is because I actually don't know why they did this, but it's pretty cool, the interactions that you can do, because some of the stuff that you can combo on their end, let's say you have a yellow or black and yellow multicolor, so that's 2 colors. So now you're at 9K on your first swing. They swing and then you combo something, and then on that turn you can combo into another color like a blue black, and now you have that extra 2K on their turn. Plus it's going to help you awaken the next turn by then actually using the one that's in your battlefield, or your battlefield, and then one in your energy, and then you charge another color. So you have a blue yellow in your energy, you combo, use the effect to play it out for black yellow in your energy, you have a blue in your battle area, and then on your second turn you can awaken because you have those 3, and you can do like a black red depending on what the matchup is. And those are the type of things that actually really go into this leader that at first I think people are going to dismiss it or say like, oh, it's nothing or whatever. But I think it does have potential. And as you play it and as people build it different ways, it's actually going to get better. The only downside for the leader, and just my first impressions of after playing it for a few weeks now, is that the boss monsters like the Super Saiyan 4 stuff doesn't really have too much protection against blue, and it just sort of loses to those type of decks. Overall, it has pretty good matchups. I think overall for a spread, it's slow going, but it does build up, and it just depends on what you draw and what you use as far as to answer their deck. Anyway, you look at the top 5 for Super Saiyan 4 and its name, so you can use anything that we're going to take a look at in a second. And then the 3 or less life, you can awaken and draw 2, or if you have 4 or more colors in your battle area, energy area, etc. So again, black is a color, yellow, the blue, and then another red. So again, the example that I said earlier. And then when this card attacks, you can go ahead and use all of the effects below as long as you meet the non-black colors among the black multicolor cards in your battle area and energy area. So you get the 5K and then choose to rest something on their field for the battle card. And it's cool because now if they have a blocker that doesn't have barrier, so now you can just get around it because your autos go off and the blocker goes after that and they can't block. And then 3 colors, you can untap one of your black multicolor energy to active mode, which is super useful because now you can untap a blue black and you can get Senzu Bean, or you can untap a green black and get your counter live. You can untap a black red to get your counter play live, that type of thing. And then 4 colors, you get the draw, so which is why you play the unison or you play the draw apes, which is why it came in the anniversary box, I would assume. Plus you get to remove a marker, which is really nice because you get to swing and you get to swing into their unison. Most unisons nowadays are 20k or less, so it's no problem. And then you get to remove 2 markers, which is dope. All right, that is it for the leader. Let's get into the actual cards. So we have a 0 cost limit 1, so you can only do it once per turn for all copies. Super Saiyan Force Call. So basically you can look at the top 3. And then you add up to 2 black cards with Super Saiyan 4 in its name. So stuff like Super Saiyan 4 Broly would count. And this is just the title, the character name, the actual title name, not the character name, I should say. And then you can, if you added 2, you get the bottom deck 1, and then bottom deck any others if you even if you added 1. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you can, this is draw power, but it's really just more of a consistency type thing in order for your deck to kind of function the best way possible. Then we have the super combo. I don't really like it too much. It's a limit 1, which is redundant for super combos because you want to use multiple of them. Plus the effect is not very powerful too. So it only gains 2k power for each color in your energy. I think the purpose of this is because it's a 1k and then you gain like when you actually do use it, maybe on like offensively, I guess is the thing where Bobbity super combo or Bibbidi super combo was super strong and they didn't want to make the same mistake for this. But really, again, let's say if you have 2 energy, you have the black, blue, yellow, blue, and then maybe green, black, or something like that. So that's so 9k super combo, so that type of thing. So I don't know, it's not that great, but I do see it because sometimes you can just sit there with 6 or 7 life and awakened. And because you're a 15k leader, it's hard for them to kind of get around your leader and to combo up. And then we also have the Super Saiyan 4 Broly. Don't really like it either. Both of these in testing are lackluster. If you do play either one, maybe play 1 or 2 of, I would recommend. The permanent is that each marker that you have on this card, it gains 5k during your turn. It's not on their turn. If they only have 1 marker, so you pay 1, you add a marker for every 2 multicolor cards in your energy. I don't know if this is like if you have 1 marker just in general, as in 1, or if you pay 3 and now you have 1 marker plus the other 2. So I don't know the language for that because sometimes it's a little bit different. The attribute main is -1. You choose up to 1 of the opponent's battle cards and greater cost their energy instead of the warp, which is nifty because it's good removal. This deck doesn't really have like super spot removal. It has like minusing, warping, they're choosing, that type of thing. But I think this is not too bad at, like I said, like a 1 or 2 of, because now you're adding the markers, you're going to like 20k for like 3 energy or something like that. After you pay 1, you can swing with the 20k -1. And then now you can remove something, and then when you attack or they attack your leader card, you can just give those markers again for that 1 energy. So you get some pretty good value for this. I'm gonna have to test it a little bit more, but when I did test it, it was like whatever. At the very least, it is searchable. Okay, let's go pretty quickly through all of the archetypal cards. So I'm sure you've seen it by now, but a good thing to, because I know some people are gonna get confused of which cards are what. Some of these poses are the same for the type of cards that you're using, basically. So the burst ones are the ones that have effects when you either when you play it, like a specific effect, not when you play it, but when you do something. So like the burst ones combo out and you pay energy and you play it. This one is a counterplay, basically a denial of hope for 1. When you pay an energy, if you have 2 or more black multicolor energy, you pay 1, it's gonna be the red. And you take a life, which is really nifty because now, again, you're at 6 or 7 life. When you awaken, you're gonna be able to do this, and it's gonna be a plus for you, not only for the body, but also for the card you take. Now the Aegis ones, so the burst ones do effects, right? And then the Aegis ones do things when you actually put in energy. So this guy, you can, when it's played or placed in your energy, you choose up to 1 of their opponent's battle cards or units in color or cards and gains 2k power, -2k power for each color in your energy area. So at the very least, you're probably going to be paying, you're going to be doing, because you have to have another multicolored card in your energy. At the very least, it's going to do -6k to 1 of their unisons or battle cards, which is nice because like Demigo Unison or something like that. Or 1 of their battle cards. I don't know how Unison carries over for power. I think if you minus it for the turn, you can just swing at it and it's just that power for the turn. So that's pretty cool if it is. And then when it's on the field, it's reduced by 1, you can pay for 2, and it has a barrier, which is cool. And you can minus 5k in the battle step, 1 of their battle cards. So pretty cool. And they also have the Prismatic Burst Vegeta, and as well as the Aegis. So the Vegeta plays out if you have 3 or more energy. Let's say if you have 2, or the opponent has 2, and then you have 1, or the opponent has 1, total of 3. You can combo this, and then you can return a 3-drop from their hand after paying 1. And then the activate main, where I think this one as well as the Goku both have the same effect, where you pay 1 black, and then you could get to play a 2 cost, whether it's this guy because it's reduced, this guy, or this guy. It doesn't matter what it is. And then you could add this to your hand to your next turn, basically, and which is really cool because now with the Gogeta stuff, you can drop it into your warp into the drop, or you can just play another 2-drop and get the effects. Like overall, this is really, really cool. Not only because you get another 16k attacker, but you get the effects after that as well. Speaking of, when you place this card into your energy, or when you play it, you get to choose up to one of their opponent's cards in their hand. You don't see it, obviously. They bottom deck it and then they draw a card. What's interesting is now you can kind of snipe stuff without punishing them too badly because you get a new card or they get a new card. So it can kind of play, you know, back and forth as far as that goes. This is definitely a 4 of in the deck if you're not playing it there. I don't know what to tell you because he is a critical 16k. With all of these cards, the 2-drops being 16Ks, it's super, super annoying for the opponent because now they have to combo at least 1 when they're swinging 15k or less, which is super, super good. Like the fact that these are 16Ks are just so clutch. And then when it's played from your hand, you get to draw 2 and then bottom deck 1, which is nice to cycle through. It's good to keep your hand up and as well as cycle through and keep your deck consistent. And then we have the Gohans. We have the Burst and Aegis again. This guy is basically like a Nimbus. You can pay 1 because of this effect, the permanent, and then they can only swing with battle cards, unison cards, by the number of colors they have in their energy. Of course, you have to pitch one just like Topo or Boo, but the cool thing about this is that it punishes the people who do play monocolor. So if they have monocolor, like all red energy, then they would only swing 1 more time with their battle cards or unison cards, which you can just negate, of course, afterwards. But if you're going against like the mirror, or if you're going against something like blue, yellow, or whatever it may be, this is not going to be as effective. But it is a really cool card. And then this is pretty much the only negate I use. I can't find too many other negates other than the 1-drop Goku. And then the prismatic Aegis for Gohan. This is like super, super good. Basically, if they have 3 or more markers on a unison, you get to remove 1, and then when you play it, you get to do the same thing, which is great. And then you get to warp something 4 or less, so some built-in removal. And just for 2 and a 16k double striker, playing this on 2 or like turn 2 is super good. And then finally we have the Gokus, which this Goku is a Xeno, the other Vegeta is a Xeno, so now you have Gogeta targets, which is nice. The Goku is the same thing as the Vegeta that you can play out for 1, and then you get to negate the unison skills for the turn, which is nice because now they can't +2 for the Broly, then they can't +2 for Zeno and Ramp, you know, those type of things. And then we also have the activate main of the same one where you can play out a 2-drop. And then now we have a blocker where you can play it from your hand or place in your energy. As soon as you play that energy, the auto procs off, and then you go into negating the skills of a 4-cost battle card, which could be blockers, you know, that type of thing. Or you can play it and then place something in rest mode and then KO it if it's skillless. So you can charge 1 and then play this and then KO a battle card if you'd like. And then finally the closers, where we have prismatic burst and as well as thwarting. Both of these guys are pretty much staples in this deck. I play this as a 1 of and treat it as my secret. This guy is pretty much the one that closes out games that aren't blue, or if they don't have a unison, just remember that. This guy's a quadruple strike. We all know this Gogeta, but this guy basically does everything as long as you have the colors in your energy area. It doesn't matter if it's a multicolored, by the way, so you can just charge 1 and you'll meet the conditions. You burn a damage, you draw 3 cards, they pitch 2 cards, you get to rest something, one of their opponent's cards, not just their battle cards, but any of their cards like unison or energy or whatever. And then 2 of their battle cards get to warp. And then of course, this is different from this one where you have to use it from your hand or battle area, not just from your battle area or your drop. So just be careful with these. And then you just place it in drop area. So this is kind of like you play this and then you play this, but by that time the game's over, but whatever. You pay 5, you pay 4, you kind of already know what these cards do. But in practice, again, I only found this to be good some of the time. You get to untap 1 for your leader, so you probably would swing with leader first and then play this guy. If you play Champas or multiple Champas, it might be pretty good to save this for the end. Again, as long as you're not playing blue, then you're good to go. All right, finally, let's talk about some support cards. And This is a rainbow deck, so you can pretty much throw in whatever you want, but these are the stuff that I've seen myself play and others play. But obviously, fighting against Fate is super good because it's free. It's a dual attack for 25k. It's searchable by your leader and as well as the other cards that we mentioned. And there's only overwhelm 6, which you probably will be getting to. So I would say that's really good. This guy is great because you have to wait until turn 3 at the least. Sometimes I think, yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, I think turn 3 is pretty much usually when you have to wait until you draw. Spirit Resonance is really good, so that it replaces your draw when you can't. Tapping out for it kind of feels bad sometimes, so be careful with that, I would say, but it is searchable as well. Thwarting is great because of removal. It's 1 cost and it's broken. What do you want me to say? Weed Scourge is nice, so you can untap. You can tap your blue energy and then untap something like green or red, so that way your other stuff is actually live. So like your counter plays and other things like that. Zamasu's limiter, you're playing blue yellow technically already, so you might as well go ahead and just take advantage of that. This is a nice little sneak card that I think people who are more creative and who have the money to pay for it will be playing in that. And then Demigra got reprinted. It's what I play personally. It's just Dark Overwhelm. We already have the Overwhelm. It's a 30k body that draws you 1 and they neg 1, and the longer that it is it's just better. It's great in this deck, honestly. Topo, you're already playing red. If you don't really see any other negate or want any other negate, Topo is not too bad because you want to get to turn 4 anyway or turn 5. And then the Mass Spirit, or Mass Saiyan Spirit Boots. Enigma is great because you meet the requirements for this guy. You're playing a unison anyway, and you might as well get the effect or dual attack. All right, here's the list that I am personally playing. If you skip to this, well, good luck. Let me know how you feel and what it plays like. I only play one of the ones here. Most of these guys are 4 or 3. The only ones that aren't are the ones that you put into your energy, I would say. Jameer at 2, the draw 8, because turn 2, you're already at 6 life with 15k. You might as well just draw, and you don't really have the draw for your leader anyway, like I mentioned earlier. You're going to get to 4 eventually, and it is also another target for thwarting, and is another target for other thwarting, and as well as anything else that you want to do. We already kind of talked about these guys. Bean because it's Bean, Kai because it's Kai. I mean, like, it's one of the best SCRs. I don't know why the price is going down. It's still going to be pretty high and pretty useful. And then making entrances because I couldn't really find too many other negates that were useful for the deck. And I think this at 2 because it's another Gogeta target, I guess. Being a Xeno Goku, it's going to be pretty useful for you. And that's it. Hopefully I talked enough and explained pretty much why there's so many things that you can kind of do with the leader. I kind of jumped around a little bit, but if anything, I hope you learned something, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you next one.